Why don't we start with you, Mrs. Hughes?
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Before I begin my opening remarks, Senator Dodd, I just wanted to address one of the questions that you asked the earlier panel, and that is there any technology currently that can go into the chat rooms, instant messaging, and that sort of thing, and detect potential predator activity? And there is. It's called Dynamic Document Review, a company that I've been working with for the past year. FamilyClick.com, which is a filtered internet service provider, is in fact using that technology to not only screen what is coming in through the World Wide Web and the Usenet news groups, but also to monitor HTML chat rooms and instant, well, not instant messages, but also email.
Good.
Well, first let me begin by saying this. I think we all agree that children deserve a protected space of innocence, a safe and rewarding online experience, the adult community to protect them from exposure to age-inappropriate content and activity, and law enforcement to protect them from illegal content and activity. I began my efforts in 1994 to help make the internet safe for children when I began to notice pornographers like Robert Thomas using Usenet news groups to advertise and post free images of child pornography and deviant hardcore obscenity. This material was what I call black marketed porn, and it was free for anyone on the internet. At the same time, we began to see softcore pornography beginning to surface on the World Wide Web. Now, only 6 years later, prosecutable obscenity and child pornography have blatantly migrated to the World Wide Web, and the pornographic nature of the internet worsened, providing an abundant breeding ground for the sexual exploitation of children. In fact, cyberporn is expected to increase from $1 billion in 1999 to over $3 billion in 2003. Now, amidst this toxic environment, the ability of pedophiles and predators to lure, exploit, and abuse children online is unprecedented in history. From anonymously searching for victims in chat rooms and instant messages, to the virtual molestation of children in real time over the internet, as, for instance, what happened with the Orchid Club a number of years ago, and is increasingly becoming the norm for predators online. Online predators have anonymous access to kids via chat rooms and instant messages. They also have easy access to child pornography. In fact, there are in excess of 40,000 individual URLs containing content of child pornography, pedophilia, or pro-pedophilia information. Pedophiles are also using the internet to virtually validate their fantasies and behavior, and to trade secrets and teaching tools amongst each other, and also to teach each other how to avoid law enforcement detection. In my written testimony, I have an example of the Pedophile Liberation Front's website featuring an open letter to children, grooming children to say yes to pleasure by a pedophile, and if they say yes, instructing them not to tell. Well, children are not only sexually exploited by direct contact with predators, but also by the proliferation of pornography on the internet. Children of all ages with unrestricted access to the internet can access both legal and illegal pornography for free in seconds, and once they've seen it, it can never be erased from their minds. In fact, 91% of kids accessing objectionable material last year did so accidentally and unintentionally. They can do so through innocent word searches, simply keying in boys or water sports can lead children to free pictures of illegal material. Misleading sites like White House. In fact, 30% of email spam is pornographic, and of course they can find this material in the chat rooms and instant messages. Exposure to pornography can harm children in many ways. It can affect their attitude, lead to desensitization, objectification, and potentially addiction. But I want to focus my comments on two examples where exposure actually led to acting out against an innocent child. On June 29, 1998, a 13-year-old boy was in the Phoenix Burton Bar Library viewing pornography on the library's computers. He followed, after viewing the pornography, he then followed a 4-year-old into the bathroom and asked the younger boy to perform oral sex on him. Another case, In November 1998, 8-year-old Maddie Clifton was murdered by her friend and neighbor, 11-year-old Josh, who lived next door. Maddie's mother called me after the trial and told me that the only thing that they could find that would explain this crime against Maddie was that Josh had been looking for 20 minutes on the internet at graphic, violent pornography where women were being tortured. After he looked at this pornography, he then stabbed Maddie to death. Now, Sheila told me, Maddie's mother, and 48 Hours, that she is convinced that had Josh not been exposed to internet pornography, Maddie would still be alive, and I'm also convinced. So what's the solution to protecting children on the internet? Well, I believe it's a three-pronged approach, a shared responsibility between the public, the technology industry, and the legal community. The public's role would include the role of parents, schools, libraries, and community groups, and of course they are the first line of defense. We've been working for years on public awareness efforts, public education, and empowerment. It's absolutely critical that those at the end user utilize safety rules and software tools. Both need to go hand in hand, and one of the reasons software tools is so critical and essential is because of the active ways that predators and pornographers are exploiting this technology. It's not enough just to teach our children, don't give out personal information, don't meet someone that you've met offline, that you've met online, offline, or don't give out personal profiles, and I'll be happy to talk more about the safety rules. Additionally, once parents have taken all the measures to protect their kids online, kids can have internet access outside of the home, at the schools and at the libraries. In fact, libraries have become a breeding ground for the sexual exploitation of children. In the recently released Dangerous Access by librarian David Burt, he documents 16 cases of adults accessing child pornography in public libraries, 169 incidences of children accessing pornography, 42 incidences of adults exposing children to porn in the libraries, and 4 attempts to molest children in libraries. In fact, the pedophile monitoring group, PETA Watch, has confirmed that online pedophiles are telling each other to use public libraries to download child pornography after a rash of such incidences. Well, the second prong is the role of the technology industry. What can the technology industry do? And they can do a lot. They can develop and implement technological solutions, and I'm happy to say that they've made tremendous strides over the past years. Filtered internet service providers like FamilyClick are beginning to spring up, using such technologies as dynamic document review, and I think that this is absolutely critical because what we're finding is that parents are typically techno-challenged and don't know nearly as much as their kids do. So the technology industry can do so much to actually empower parents to help them and partner with them to make sure that their kids are safe online. Additionally, the technology industry can choose not to offer news groups containing child pornography and prosecutable obscenity. But once the public and the technology industry have done their part to shield children from exposure to pornography and predators, how do we protect our children from the secondary effects in a culture that allows this toxic material to flourish? How do we protect our children from others who may act out violently against them because of their own exposure to pornography? Hence the role of the legal community. Now, since federal prosecution has been narrowed only to those who are stalking children online or producing child pornography, the clear message, in my opinion, to predators and pornographers is that anything else goes. This hands-off posture by DOJ must be recognized as a major factor in the proliferation of pornography and predator activity on the internet. The public and the technology sector should not have to shoulder the burden to shield children from illegal content and criminal activity. The solution: strict, consistent enforcement of the federal obscenity, child pornography statutes, including the distribution and possession of child pornography, and the child stalking statutes, in order to deter pornographers and predators from continuing their blatant exploitation of the internet in the United States. It is critical that there is a shared responsibility between the public, the technology industry, and the legal community to protect children online. We must all do our part. Thank you.
Thank you.